Hey, this is Arsenet from Rambling Rican doing a small mini update thing. I wanted to do a small gaming podcast. One of the two things that William used to always talk about with me at the end of Final Stage podcast for about 3 to 4 hours was animation and of course gaming. And so there are two things that are coming up in the horizon. One, I think it's tomorrow, William. And then the other one for me, is for the end of the month. And I don't know about you. So anyway, introduce yourselves since I'm going to do like a mini thing so people know who the heck I'm talking to.
Hey, this is William. What's up? Mario Odyssey comes out tomorrow, and I'm excited for that.
I'm Don, and I know there's something coming up I'm looking forward to, but being old, I suffer from CRS.
I can't remember.
Yeah. So eventually it'll click, probably around 10:30 tomorrow morning at work.
Yeah. So, but anyway, go ahead, William. You start. What are you waiting for again?
I am looking forward to Super Mario Odyssey for the Nintendo Switch. And it is the latest entry in the Mario series, and it looks like it's going to be really good. Basically, this, Nintendo launched a Switch this year. They've had a good first year, and the year's not even done yet. Because, obviously they started with Zelda, and they had, a bunch of other first-party games like Splatoon 2, which was great, ARMS, which is a fun game, Mario Kart 8, which I didn't buy because I had the Wii U version, but, it's Mario Kart. It's really good. They just had Fire Emblem last week, and this week it's Mario, and they're actually releasing Xenoblade 2 this year somehow. I still can't believe that actually has a date this year.
Wow, really?
They
haven't moved it.
They haven't moved it. It's December 1st. They're actually staying true to the 2017 promise.
Wow. And we're taping this on the 26th of October.
Yeah. And basically, it seems like Mario Odyssey has a bunch of similar design ideas that Breath of the Wild had. Because with Breath of the Wild, the Zelda crew was like, hey, you know what? Let's change up a bunch of the concepts of Zelda, some of the traditions. Make it a true open world game where there's a lot to do and a lot to collect. Mm-hmm. And in many ways, it seems like that's what they're doing with Mario. It's a lot more open world, but there's a lot of things to collect. There's a lot more power moons, But in the past, it's been stars or shine sprites. But this time around, they're power moons that you're collecting. And no reviewer has given a definitive number, but from what they've said, it sounds like the number of power moons in the game are between 800 and 900.
Yeah, all I know is I've been seeing a lot of 10 out of 10s. I haven't seen anything. It's been perfect so far.
Yeah, it's reviewing really well. And honestly, oh god, it's so weird because I thought Zelda was going to be the best game that they released this year.
No, actually, I thought Odyssey was going to because they've been mentioning that they've been putting a lot more time on it, and because only you can mention this of whether was it Galaxy 2 was kind of received by comparison.
I actually haven't played Galaxy 2.
Well, that should give you an idea. It was not.
No, I haven't gotten around to playing Galaxy 2. I had played Galaxy 1 is tremendous.
Yeah, but that was the point. So the last mainline Mario game was Galaxy 2, so they needed to make sure that they got people's attention again so they can get the sales of the next new big Mario game.
Yeah, it's already a bestseller on Amazon. The reception has been pretty tremendous. And honestly,
I
Pauline's
expect it to do better than Zelda.
I wouldn't be surprised. But it's first off, Pauline's in the game, which is a nice addition. For those of you who don't know, she was Mario's original girlfriend back when he was known as Jumpman in Donkey Kong.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, she became a mayor of the city that Donkey Kong allegedly takes place in. So she's doing well for herself.
Wow.
But more importantly, there's a big musical number that Pauline sings, and you can buy the song on iTunes, and I bought the song on iTunes, and you know what? That song is great. That E3 trailer that has that song in it is tremendous.
I actually
And
don't remember it.
So in the context of the presentation, it was so smart because you don't know it's a Mario Odyssey trailer when it first starts, because it starts with a realistic looking T-Rex,
Yes.
and then you see he's wearing a Mario hat, and Mario pops out of the dinosaur's head.
Oh, but wait, we have an official announcement that is not actual possession.
Oh yeah, it's
I can't believe they actually had to go. It's not possession. Oh god! I mean, they literally had to write an actual press release for it. Really?
yeah. Well.
They must have really gotten a lot of messages on that.
Well, there's a lot of people have been joking about how because there's like realistic looking humans in New Donk City, and you can take possession of some of them, which is
It's possession.
it's freaky.
Super Mario Hellgate.
Oh,
Yeah.
my god, there was an entire Twitter explosion of, I think it was hashtag rename Mario or whatever it was, and they had, a lot of things like Resident Evil Mario, that sort of thing. Like they had a lot of different but Halloween based names, undead version, unrated undead version, all this extra stuff.
Yeah.
It was really funny because it was like, well, do we know that's actually Mario, or is he actually possessed? I mean, has it been the hat the whole time? Who's actually in there? What spirit is in there? Is
Super Mario Origins. Be bundled with Assassin's Creed.
That'd be weird. They both have Egypt scenery, so
Well, considering they're doing what was it,
just saying.
Raving Rabbids.
Yeah, then the rabbits will pop in at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's
don't
funny.
knock it.
There's actually a little bit of a plot in this one, in that, Bowser kidnaps Princess Peach, but he's going a step further. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna make Peach marry me, and so a wedding theme is kind of a big theme around Odyssey. It seems like, at least with the story, because the rabbit bosses. It's so weird because they did the crossover with the Rabbids, but there are rabbit bosses in Mario Odyssey, and apparently they're evil wedding planners. Yeah, so Bowser's in this awesome white
Princess Bride
tuxedo.
edition.
Princess Peach is in a wedding dress with a piranha plant bouquet of flowers, and Mario, at some point at least, he's gonna wear a wedding suit with a top hat, and I'm just there's a part of me that's just I really want this to end with Mario and Peach actually getting married.
Marriage.
How cool of an ending would that be?
Yeah.
After 30 years, it finally happened. I think it's due.
Maybe she can stop getting kidnapped.
No, it'll never stop, unfortunately.
I'm waiting for a Mario to open with him on the phone saying, I don't know who you are, but I have a very specific set of skills. I will find you, and I will jump on your head.
Oh, man. So,
Hey, you know what? Any game where you can play as a realistic-looking T-Rex is how can you go wrong?
well, it was a very smart...
What, the original Tomb Raider wasn't enough? I think that T-Rex had 8, 9 polygons.
Oh, man.
So yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah. I'm still not getting a Switch.
Well.
Tell you one thing,
Maybe-
though. It's a...
Maybe when Animal Crossing comes out for the Switch, you'll change your mind.
Nope.
Nope.
No,
Oh, well.
because my favorite, and that's a really good segue, is my favorite Animal Crossing is the one for the GameCube. And I still have it set up in the back bedroom. And So yeah, if I ever wanted to play it, I'm sure Rossetti would scream at me because I think the last time I had lost power. So anyway, the new version that's coming out is for an iPhone. In fact, well, actually not just iPhone, mobile in general. It's the Pocket Camp Edition, I think is what they called it. And
Yeah,
I
something
think
like
I've
that.
seen every video that's out right now because apparently it's out in Australia, and it's very, very pretty, and it is extremely smart on how they're doing this. I'm already calling it. This is gonna make a hell of a lot more money than Pokemon Go over an extended period of time.
That's a bold claim.
That is, well, the reason why is I can understand why people, I think the thing that most of the money for Pokemon Go made was for Pokeballs. And the way this is set up, where you can buy a whole bunch of little tchotchkes, because the whole point of Animal Crossing is to goof around and play dress up and dig for things and fish. And I mean, the amount of hours that I put on Animal Crossing alone is staggering, and every single piece of that is monetized. Now, they won't get any money from me because I am actually patient enough and old enough to understand how these mobile games work. So luckily they're not doing a an energy system?
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're using an energy system. It looks like there's two major forms of currency: bells, which everyone that played the original games is familiar with, and they're fully earnable in world, at least from everything we've seen.
So are tickets as well.
And then they have leaf bills, I think they're called.
Yeah, the tickets.
And
as well,
those are
them.
earnable in-game, but you can also purchase them with real money. And what they do more than anything else is like speed up build time. There's a few other things you can do with them, but they're not necessary. So unlike EA, Nintendo got it right because they figured out what the word micro actually means, where it's $1 or $2 versus, I'll use EA's Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes as an example. Their idea of micro is $70 for a single character that's not even fully powered for the $70 you spent. I don't even, well, it's EA. What can I say? But it looks like Nintendo has the right idea, and it's those games with those tiny little transactions that make a ton of money.
Yeah. So I'm a huge Animal Crossing fan. I do not have a 3DS. My last DS was, the DS Lite?
Yeah, we have the original DS, and then you got the redesign that came out about 2 years later. It was about half the size.
Yeah, the DS Lite. And that was it. And I haven't had a DS game ever since. And the fact that because I'm an iOS person, so I use iPhone, iPad, that sort of thing. I'm going to save up for my own iPad because I'm not going to play this on my phone. I'll hang up on people just to play this game. And it's interesting because it is out in legally out in Australia. That's basically their beta. It's the 0.9 version. So that's the, hey, can you test out the English translations and or I should say localization and, how all this is. And the things that I like about this that I didn't like about, I forget which of the Animal Crossings for the DS. I don't know if I saw it over somebody's house or I have it buried somewhere. All I know is that I remember seeing the Animal Crossing on the DS and absolutely hated it because, of course, Dragon Ball. Remember King Kai's place is this tiny little planet?
Yes.
So when you're walking around, you see the horizon bowed and you only see like 2 feet behind you and 2 feet in front of you. That's what it was That's what it was like playing Animal Crossing. And I hated it because part of that is exploration. Well, it looks like you're exploring 5 feet. I mean, it's an exaggeration when I say it that way. But that's what I had an issue with. So when I'm seeing, that it's actually really, like, I can see a distance. I can see 4 or 5 buildings in the distance and maybe a couple in front of me, but that's kind of how the point. It was like a mix of the DS version and the GameCube version, which is my favorite. The GameCube version is the one that introduced the overhead camera. And this is what this has. So I'm like, it's the GameCube version for my phone that I don't have to pay for it. So the idea that it's free, that was one of the things that a lot of people liked about about Pokemon Go. And if you wanted to invest in it, I am positive that plenty of people are going to be more than happy to pay for it because it's a nice mix. It has a lot of things already available that you can get for free. You get stuff daily logins and stuff like that. So there's never a point where you're gonna run out of things. And what I find funny is like when they had a whole video on it was like 15 minutes long on all the things that you can do. And, you know, you're going to shake a tree to get the fruit off of it. And then you saw the little timer that it's every 3 hours. That's actually shorter than in the actual game version. Because the game version, I think, is 8 hours or 12 for some trees. So this one's like, all right. So I can imagine people that would either pay for either unlimited trees or bells or fruits or stuff like that. Because I play another game. It's a... I forget what it's called.
World Chef.
World Chef. Yeah. It's called World Chef. And it has a similar thing where, you know, you're going to make a quiche and the quiche takes 2 real life hours. But hey, for the low price of blah, 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 you can accelerate it using these gems and you can buy gems for this amount of real world dollars. Well, I can sit there and go, all right, I'm going to set stuff to cook. And then come back in 12 hours or something like that, and then go into the next one. So it's not an energy system, but it's a time gate.
Although one of the very intelligent things, and I played the game a little bit and just never really got into it, but one of the really intelligent things they did in their game model is they incentivize you watching commercials. So if you will sit and watch, I think it's 2 or 3 videos,
30 seconds.
30-second videos over a short span of time, they actually give you in-game currency for doing it.
Yeah,
which is that's absolutely brilliant. I mean, because that way they're getting revenue from the commercials. They can absolutely say what was engaged with and what wasn't. Mm-hmm. You know, so what's that worth to advertisers?
Yeah. Now it's not in Pocket Edition, but they can stand to make a heck of a lot more money because. I've been watching through Reddit, the Reddit community, the Animal Crossing, how it's being perceived in Australia. And people have been playing it for like 10 hours straight.
Yeah.
And not an issue.
Well, I think Nintendo got it right.
Yeah, I think, if anything, this is probably going to make them monetize other games. If this goes well. Because they were not happy. And this isn't like Niantic. I mean, Nintendo is making money off of this. So I'm curious if they're going to think about it. Because they were very disappointed with, what was it, Mario Run?
Yeah, Mario Run. Well, that was a completely different model.
Yeah, but the idea being of, like, they liked more Pokemon Go, where, okay, the game was free, but there were so many other ways to monetize things. You know,
but how would you go about monetizing Mario Run in that type of model?
Right.
It's a one-time purchase.
Right.
Of the game.
Right. There was really no way to have a bunch of micro purchases in that. I mean, what would you buy?
Yeah, but Animal Crossing, I can imagine. Now, I'm not this type of person, but in the sense of where they would plunk money. But you can sit there and just buy a lot of money just to buy all these shirts and, you know, hats and God knows whatever.
You're not a whale, dear.
I know I'm not a whale. But the idea of being a whale, it's a term that's used for people that use real world dollars to superpower
large volumes. We used to call them twinkers back in the day.
Yeah, they call
it whales for those that aren't aware of it, because there's a lot of fish in the sea, but there's only a few whales.
Yeah.
And the companies that make these monetized games with microtransaction love their whales.
Oh, what was it?
Somebody in
Mass Effect 3?
Mass Effect Andromeda Because apparently they
No.
went to... Yes, because 3 didn't have a card system.
They introduced
Oh,
it.
whatever.
in
One of the Mass Effect
3.
games then, but somebody spent $15,000 on booster cards.
Yeah.
It's like, you
could buy a
spent
car
A car.
on booster cards. So, yeah.
Sure, I guess... Whatever, it's your money, but
So,
wow.
but at least from what I'm reading and the type of person that are going there, I mean, kids can play this. The fact that kids can play this without parents worrying about that they're shooting things and whatever, you're gonna have a whole bunch of people spending money. And more importantly, because they are indoors, they're not running around like in Pokemon where you had to physically go out of where you were. I mean, there are ways around it, and I
Walking
know
into
that.
signs, falling off cliffs.
Going into other people's properties, and getting arrested for going to church in Russia, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That is not an actual problem. Something like this, people are more willing to plunk money in something that they would enjoy because they're not buying a mainline game and they don't have to sit there and fight for a Switch. So parents are looking at it going, hey, it's free. So I expect it to do great things. Maybe not as quickly as Pokemon Go, because Pokemon Go was a phenomenon that over a summer, what was it, like 2 months, they made, I don't even know, hundreds of millions of dollars.
Pokemon Go also tapped the nostalgia vein of older millennials and very, very young Gen Xers that, are young professionals with money to burn. They couldn't have timed that any better.
Yes, and Animal Crossing is pinging a 45-year-old going, oh my god, did you see the gameplay on that? Do you have any idea how much I absolutely fangirled when I saw that? I'm like, great, it's gonna go on the Switch. Wait, they said mobile. Mobile? No. And then I actually slept through the announcement, and then I just saw that. I'm like, oh god. So at first I was gonna hork Don's iPad, and Don's like, no.
Denied.
So it's late November, so that is thankfully near Black Friday, so I already know what I'm getting for Christmas. And I'll wait for the Black Friday sale to get an iPad. Because I'll pay for that. Because I'm always borrowing his. So, anyway.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, from a business standpoint, making a Animal Crossing mobile game makes a lot of sense because the series is currently at the height of its popularity.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to Fire Emblem, actually. Well, making the Fire Emblem mobile game made a lot of sense too, just because that game's at its height of its popularity too. The thing with Pokemon Go is that like not only did it make a good amount of money, it also like got more people to buy 3DSs and 3DS games.
Yeah.
Like there's a very clear like shift in the rate of sales, and it's directly related to Pokemon Go being released. So I imagine Nintendo was very appreciative of that too.
Well, it raises the ecosystem for Nintendo.
Yeah.
Because they still want to continue selling Switches and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, of course. And I imagine when the Switch version of Animal Crossing comes out, it's going to sell very well also.
Oh, I'm positive because that's its own.
Yeah.
It's because this is its own version. The fact that most of the stuff is indoors, outdoors. I mean, you have a little car, and that's the only indoor thing, because everything else is outside, which is interesting. And the screen and the physical space that you walk around, you don't have. I mean, it's whatever you can mess with your phone, so it has to fit in that window. So I can imagine that being as limited. But I know, even from reading the forums on Reddit on this, where people that bought New Leaf, which I think is now about 3 years old, about 2-3 years old.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, so this is going to be the stopgap until we actually get the Switch version. And quite a few people are going, there's no reason why I can't play both, because they're two different ecosystems. If anything, they can always do a crossover, because all you have to do is link your Nintendo account. And, all of a sudden, there's plenty of ways that they can do that, because all of the Nintendo accounts are connected.
Yeah, that's
They're
nice
very
they smart
with that.
Yeah.
When did they actually? Because I remember you were telling me, because I've never been a Nintendo person, per se, where they had the reward system, because they completely revamped this reward system, didn't they?
Yeah, when did the... It's so weird that it's called My Nintendo, because that's what it used to be called before they changed it to Club Nintendo.
Yeah.
So it's like... But it launched before the Switch, because you can make a My Nintendo account before.
Wasn't that like last year?
It was before Miitomo launched.
And
because no, you can still play it. You can still play Miitomo. That's Miiverse you're thinking of that closed.
Oh, okay.
Miiverse was the Wii U social media system.
Yeah.
That's different.
What is Miitomo?
Yeah.
Is that a paid thing?
No, Miitomo was Nintendo's first mobile game. It is a... It's not necessarily a game per se. It's kind of it's literally dress up your Mii and interact and answer questions that can be shared amongst your friends.
Where is it a pay thing?
It's a free to play game
On where?
on phones.
Well, guess what I'm going to be downloading, because you can import your Miitomo to play in Animal Crossing.
It sounds like
Yeah.
Nintendo's censored version of Second Life.
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah.
It's actually yeah. I guess one other thing I just wanted to mention is that like Nintendo's actually co-developing these games with the exception of Pokemon Go.
Right.
The reason these mobile games exist was because they had the partnership with DNA, which everyone mispronounces their name as Dina because they don't know how trademarked names work with pronunciations. But yeah, DNA's been doing a good job with working with Nintendo to make these games and having an account system that is actually like good for a change.
Yeah. Sooner or later.
I'm glad Nintendo finally they got that sorted, thankfully. But yeah, I mean, I don't play the mobile games a lot. Just not just because I don't, but I mean, you can see like from a technical standpoint, they're pretty quality. So yeah, they're doing well.
Yeah.
They're doing well.
Yeah.
Well, Nintendo's not known for turning out garbage.
No.
Generally when they release games, even if they're subpar for Nintendo, they're still generally decent.
Well, the games have always been the only thing that sold things. They've had some missteps, most notably with the Wii U.
Well, I mean, years ago it was the hardware.
It's
but
the
this is
hardware.
going back to, the 90s and the early 2000s. And then they just took a different path than everyone else. And
Well, they failed.
I mean,
they failed with the Wii U.
the Wii U was,
badly.
I don't know what they were thinking. The Wii was commercially a huge success.
Yeah, it went the complete. Yeah, it just. Wow.
Which I guess to some degree is kind of proof that it's not always about the gigaflops. Here's the least powerful system in I don't know how many years, and they made a ton of money off of it.
I mean, they're still making money off of it because the games are the things that are selling it.
Right. That's one thing Nintendo's always understood, that it is always about the games. What other company makes you buy the same game 10 times on 6 different systems?
And they still don't have a virtual console.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I'm waiting on that. They are. Oh well.
Now,
I mean,
did you ever get the
we got-
GameCube?
I have the GameCube adapter. Yeah, I haven't tested it. I think they actually patched that out because like today. So yeah, so they asked Reggie about that, and the answer that he gave was, yeah, the ability to use the GameCube adapter on the Switch was a surprise to us also when it came out.
Crap.
Uh-oh.
Don't do firmware updates.
Oh, this is a shame because for people that are unaware, when was it? 2 days ago?
Yeah, something like that.
It was like
yeah.
2 days ago. The second to last week in October, I started seeing the people going, "Oh my God, there's an update that allows a GameCube controller connected to the adapter for the Wii U." Because remember, I don't have these things.
So when Smash Brothers for Wii U came out, Nintendo also released an adapter that allowed you to hook up GameCube controllers to it.
Yeah, so you can have multiple.
Yeah.
Well,
So basically what happened this week with that firmware update was Nintendo released a firmware update to make it easier for third-party like controllers and stuff to work
Yep.
with the system, but as a extra result that they weren't expecting, it allowed the GameCube adapter to work as well. And basically, to my understanding, Nintendo was like, "Oh wait, hold on, we weren't ready for that. Okay, what? Roll that part back. Roll that part back."
Oh, that's a shame because I love
Yeah.
that is actually my favorite controller.
I'm sure. Don't worry. I'm sure it will. I'm willing to bet it'll come back, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just one of those. It's not ready yet.
Well,
So,
my big thing,
we'll see.
and we've had the discussion, obviously offline before. I won't get the Switch because I can't stand the form factor. Like it hurts my hands. Those little baby controller things are really really small, and they cramp my hands when I hold them for too long. And then the big ass thing in the middle that's too much to carry as. That's not portable. That's a big clunky thing to be carrying around. I know you love it and whatever. I hate it.
It fits in my pocket. That's all I know.
Again, you'll make it work because that's what you want, and that's great, and that's why it sold millions. So
if it's
I
too
know
big,
that.
I just need jeans with bigger pockets. That's
The idea being, I don't like the form factor in it, and I don't like the gimmicky part of it, and how expensive it is just so I can get a damn Pro controller to work for it. So the idea that an existing licensed Nintendo product, which I still own,
which we have four
can
of.
work for. Yeah, we have 4 of them, 2 corded and 2 Wavebirds. I would love, great, I can use that controller and it doesn't hurt my hands and I know exactly where every button and everything is. I'll work with that. Nope. Great.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I'm sure I mean, it sounds like it's one of those in due time because it's like it's basically hasn't. It's all but. It hasn't been confirmed, but it's pretty much known that the GameCube games are going to come.
I hope so
It's
because
just-
they had a fantastic library.
Plus, I'm willing to bet that when Smash Brothers Switch comes out, because that's coming out,
Yeah.
that GameCube adapter will definitely be ready for use by then.
Yeah.
Because Smash players like their GameCube controllers.
It was a comfortable controller.
Yeah, no, it's comfortable, but it's like some people, some Smash Brother players, especially melee ones, they're so, stuck in the past sometimes. At least,
Hey,
I'll just
whatever
leave it at
works for them,
Yeah.
Well, the whole point is they enjoy the games and they enjoy it the way they like it, and there we go.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, either way, that's what I wanted to talk about. I have no idea how many times I'm going to be doing this a month, or if I'm going to be doing one a month with the animation one, or not at all, or 4 of them because there's 5 things in a row coming. It doesn't matter. this is going to be as infrequent, but I wanted to get that off my chest, and I know you wanted to talk about it because you've been counting down on Twitter going, it's coming, it's coming. You take tomorrow off.
Nah, I'm not.
Okay. So.
So I gotta wait for Amazon to deliver the game. I don't know when it's coming. So.
Oh, that's true. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay. So.
Well, I mean, I have so much gift card money that I'm literally spending $0 on this game. So.
That's
Heck
the
yeah.
best kind of purchase.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So.
Oh, hey. So I was just looking online, and apparently that whole part of Nintendo removing the GameCube controller support was a false report that I read. So, yeah.
Yay!
Turns out that was not true. So, sorry about that. You can still use your GameCube controller. However, it is still true that they added it by accident. So.
No, I remember at least online everybody was going, wait, what? Because they're like, no, this is me playing Breath of the Wild. Check this out. Do you lose any functionality with it?
I don't know. I haven't looked into it, so.
Okay.
Couldn't
Because
tell you.
I don't. Are there any specific things that? Actually, it won't, because if it's docked, you can't use that separately. No, it should be fine because the game was designed to be used with the Pro controller anyway, right?
Yeah. The
Okay.
only thing that wouldn't work, and maybe there's a way around it, is if there's something that requires the gyro sensor because GameCube doesn't have.
Oh,
Yeah, GameCube doesn't have that.
yeah.
The only other thing would be the home button.
Okay.
Which I mean, you can just press the home button on the normal normal Switch controller. So, other than that, I imagine the functionality is pretty much the same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, but it is interesting that I'm sure they're like, wow, right. That wasn't supposed to happen. I'm sure they're going, because I'm sure everybody was asked, hey, Virtual Console, you can bring a GameCube. Oh God, I hope it isn't that they weren't planning to do that.
No, I'm sure it's coming. Like they've already said that Virtual Console games are coming in 2018. So,
Okay.
Whether or not that includes GameCube at the time of launch remains to be seen, but I'm sure it'll be fine.
Oh, one last thing while I'm thinking of it. Are they actually gonna do mini versions of everything, including the Game Boy Color or the Game Boy?
Well, they apparently recently refiled the trademark for the Game Boy, so it's looking like the mini Game Boy might be the next one.
Yeah,
So,
and the
that'll be
Tetris song
interesting.
just hit my head.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, so thank you for updates on that.
No problem.
All right, well, thank you guys, and until the next time we talk about these things, I always do the quick reminders on where you can find people. I am on Twitter and YouTube under Arsenet, ARSENETTE. My website is ramblingrican.com, and you can also find me as Rambling Rican on Instagram. Don, where they can find you?
Only on Twitter at Domnall, DOMNHAL. That's it.
William?
You can follow me on Twitter at 2D2Will and YouTube 222 Productions, and yeah.
Cool. So until next time, thanks for listening.